Hi, I'm Viktorija JOVANOVIĆ. I came from Serbia, from Petnica Science Center, from Seminar of Psychology. I examined the contribution of executive function shifting during lying. Executive function are the mechanisms that navigate numerous cognitive processes, like thinking, observation, and learning. And one of the executive function are executive function shifting. They allow coordination from attention. They allow the shifting attention from one to another task, which is the case when we are, example, trying to drive a car and talking to phone. We can't ask from participants to do something like this, but we can create the tasks which include these cognitive mechanisms. Shifting also influences new operation when there is another influence of previous experience. And that is a case during lying. During lying, we are trying not to be distracted by the information which we know, the true information, while we are creating lies. Lying is intention of a person to fool another person by covering the truth. And lying include controlling the information and behavior, fast change in the flow of thoughts, quick production of false answer, and checking the sense of answer. On the other hand, telling the truth is one automatic action, which is mostly easy task. Previous research shows that lying is cognitively more demanding than telling the truth, and lying requires coordination of numerous cognitive processes. Also, previous research shows that parallel performance of the task, which require the same cognitive mechanisms, leads to higher cognitive load. And previous research indicate that that is the case during parallel lying, and that is the case with task of lying and task shifting task. And that is what we research in this study. We examined the influence of the executive function shifting task on lying. The aim of study was to examine whether executive function shifting are one of the mechanisms underlying the process of lying. This is our hypothesis. We assumed that telling the truth would take little time. Little more time would take parallel telling the truth and working on visual rotation task. And little more time we expected during parallel telling the truth and working on shifting task. We expected that lying generally would take more time than telling the truth, but we expected that parallel lying and working on shifting task would take most time. Also, we assume that the accuracy of answer in the task lying or telling the truth would be highest during only telling the truth. Little less accuracy of answer we expected during parallel telling the truth and working on visual rotation task, and little less accuracy we expected during parallel lying and working on shifting task. Generally, we expected less accuracy of answer, expected least accuracy of answer during lying and parallel lying and working on shifting task. We have 56 participants in the research, divided into 3 groups. We have 2 independent variables. One of them is a type of answer, and that is repeated factor with levels lie and truth. That means that all our participants both lied and told the truth. Second independent variable is load type, and that is unrepeatable factor. Group different in what additional task they did. Control group had no additional load, had no additional task. Second group had visual rotation task, and third groups had shifting task. We had two dependent variables, reaction time and accuracy of answer, and we looked how these factors, answer type and load type, affect reaction time and accuracy of answer. That is our method. Now I explain our procedure. Participants in control group had this, get instruction, watch the video about theft, then reply on question about theft by lying or telling the truth. They had to answer whether the statement about the theft was true. They had a question, is about statement true, yes or no? When statement was written with green color, they needed to get truthfully answer. When statement was written with red color, they needed to get falsely answer. And that is all what did control group. Other fixation point is next trial. Group with visual rotation task did all this, but plus visual rotation task, which look like this. On the screen was presenting 4 pictures of one animal. One picture is target, and 3 pictures were rotated. Among the 3 rotated pictures, 2 were also mirrored. But participants had to find the one that is just rotated. And there were 20 visual rotation tasks with 20 different animals. This is whole procedure. First, the participants were asked about theft. After that, they had to do the task of visual rotation. That means that participants needed to parallel thinking about statement and working on visual rotation task. Right after that, they needed to get answer about question about theft. Our main experimental group is a group with shifting task, and participants in this group do all as control group, but plus shifting task. Shifting task look like this. When triangles were showed on the screen, participants needed to get answer, is there more triangles in upper or lower half of screen? When dots were showed on the screen, participants needed to get answer, is there more dots in left or right half of screen? And we have 10 tasks with triangles and 10 tasks with dots. This is whole procedure. First, participants were asked about theft. After that, they had to do task of shifting. Participants do the shifting task simultaneously with thinking about their answer to the question about theft. And after that, they would give answer. This is our results. Our results showed that lying takes more time than telling the truth, which is in the line with our hypothesis. The type of load did not affect the reaction time, and that we didn't expect this. Also, there is no interaction between type of answer and type of load to reaction time. Also, our results showed that accuracy of answer in the lying truth task was lower when we are lying. The type of load did not affect the accuracy of answer, and also we didn't expect that. And there is no interaction between type of answer and type of load for the accuracy of answer. Our results maybe have influence from insufficient number of participants to detect the effect of load type, or small experimental control, because experiment was done online on a computer because of epidemiological situation. And we maybe have influence of enhanced cognitive control, cognitive conflict. That means that cognitive conflict, which can occur due to a large number of activated cognitive mechanisms, induce higher cognitive control, which leads to attention adjustment and better performance in the future task. And also, one of the explanation our results is the lying is not susceptible to the additional load used in this research. Anyway, we can conclude that lying is cognitively more demanding than telling the truth. And also, we can conclude that we could successfully lie with additional cognitive load. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Victoria. Any questions?
I do have a question, if I can.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your hard work. You've done a lot of stuff to make this experiment. I have one question, more theoretical. So you've chosen shifting as the executive functions that you measured in the experiment, but have you considered other types of executive functions? So according to Miyake model, there are three main factors: updating, shifting, and inhibition. So why did you choose shifting? And have you thought of some other factors?
Thank you for the question. Second, inhibition. We have a model which shows that inhibition is one of the mechanisms during lying, but lying include more mechanisms than only inhibition. Inhibition is just one mechanism include this process, but shifting and lying include shifting attention from one to another task and have more. A second.
It's okay. I think I understand that you're trying to say. Yeah. So you had some theoretical model and you chose shifting because it should be more closer to the cognitive processes involved in lying. Yeah, I understood that.
Yes.
So my second question is more like for your future experiments. So here you told about that you didn't find differences between visual rotation and the executive function, but you were thinking that it should have been there. But as you showed us, there is the differences in accuracy for the cognitive load, for the visual rotation task, and for shifting task. So how can you say whether the differences that you...
I'm sorry, my internet connect
I think
maybe is wrong.
Maybe it was mine. So I'll try to make it short. How did you adjust for the difficulty of the cognitive loads? So you shifting, but shifting visual rotation. So how can you figure what is it just more cognitive load, or is it specific cognitive load that affects that can affect accuracy of lying?
Sorry, can you write that in the chat because internet connection is really bad, and I don't understand question because I don't hear question.
While you guys are writing the question to the chat, maybe someone else can ask a question.
Ilya tries to write his question in the chat.
Yes, yes. And while he's doing that, I thought that maybe we should
Okay, and can I ask a little question while, sorry, yeah, we have that question.
I think that I understand the question because visual rotation task is control task. Lying and visual rotation task don't activate same cognitive mechanisms. We in previous research that two things don't have some connection, some cognitive mechanisms. Заднички. I don't know. Am I reply as well? Thank you, and I'm really sorry.
Sorry, and can I ask a small question too?
Yes, of course.
Sorry, what the problem with sound? Is it okay for you with my sound? Because I hear a big echo. No?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, I hope
Just
all
a
is
quick reminder, Victoria, you have about 5 minutes left, and we will switch to.
yeah. I try to ask a small question. So did you have any difference between the concept true and lie and the concept correct and incorrect, or correctness and incorrectness during your research? So was it any difference between lying and incorrection?
Well, lying in experimental is hard to have lying and all what that means in experimental situation, but get false answer need inhibition truth answer, and that is what we need. Telling truth is just automatic reaction, but lying in but lying and telling incorrect answer include inhibition truth answer, and that is enough because we want to show are there many different in this phase.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I understood your position. Yeah, that's exactly that I wanted to make a little bit clearer for myself about this difference. So thank you very much. And thank you very much for all this very interesting and complicated research.
Thank you so much.